Hypatia of Alexandria, the last light of the ancient world. Alexandria, Egypt, a city where marble streets once echoed with philosophy, science, and debate. Though the great library had long since declined, the dream of universal knowledge still lingered. And at the center of this fragile flame stood a woman whose brilliance defied her age, Hypatia of Alexandria. Before we step into her world, remember, history only survives when it's shared. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Yahweh Stories 4044, so stories like this never vanish. Born around 355 CE, Hypatia was the daughter of Theon, a respected scholar connected to the remnants of Alexandria's library tradition. Unlike most women of her time, she was not confined to the household. Theon trained her in mathematics, astronomy, mechanics, and philosophy. She absorbed Euclid and Ptolemy before she was grown, then moved beyond them, making the abstract practical. From her youth, she was not just a student, but a teacher in the making. By adulthood, Hypatia commanded authority across the Mediterranean. She lectured on Plato, Aristotle, and Plotinus, translating complex philosophy into lessons that drew packed audiences. She wore the philosopher's cloak, rode through the city in her own chariot, and spoke openly in the public square. To her students, pagans and Christians alike, she was not only a teacher, but a guide to truth. Even Orestes, the imperial governor of Egypt, relied on her advice. But Hypatia's genius was not only philosophical. She worked on mathematics, writing commentaries on Diophantus and Apollonius, likely refining early algebraic methods and geometric principles. She designed instruments, improving the astrolabe, refining the hydrometer, tools that helped sailors, scientists, and surveyors. She was, in short, a scientist before the word existed, grounding philosophy in the real. Yet fame carried risk. Alexandria was a city on edge. Christianity was rising in power, pagan temples were closing, and Jewish and Christian communities clashed violently. Hypatia, a pagan philosopher and friend to Orestes, became a symbol, not just of learning, but of resistance to the new order. To Bishop Cyril's followers, her influence over the governor made her an enemy. In March of 415 CE, as political tensions boiled over, a Christian mob intercepted Hypatia's chariot. They dragged her into a church. What followed was brutal beyond belief. She was stripped, beaten, cut apart with pottery shards, and her remains burned. The act was not only murder, it was meant as annihilation, to silence her, to erase her, to declare that the age of pagan philosophy was over. Her writings did not survive. No complete work bears her name. Scholars believe much of her commentary lived on under the signatures of men who copied her work, burying her voice beneath theirs. In this way, her murder was doubled, first in body, then in memory. And yet memory is stubborn. Later generations rediscovered her story. The Enlightenment raised her as a martyr for reason against fanaticism. Modern historians recognize her as one of the last great figures of classical philosophy, the bridge between an ancient world of open inquiry and the darker centuries that followed. Her legacy is more than tragedy. It is a warning and an inspiration. When fear and zealotry take the place of reasoned debate, knowledge itself is destroyed. But her life also shows the power of one mind to shine against the tide. A woman in a man's world, a pagan in a Christian age, a philosopher in an era of dogma. Hypatia refused silence until silence was forced upon her. And here's the truth, her killers failed. You are hearing her story now, 16 centuries later. Every retelling defies their attempt to erase her. So keep the flame alive. Like and subscribe to Yahweh Stories 44, and let Hypatia's name burn bright once more.